Hi, this is State Representative Josh Bashline. I'm here in downtown Kittanning, ready to tour the Armstrong County Museum, a well-known landmark that teaches us where we came from and where we are today. So follow me inside as we learn about our ancestors and how they built the communities that we now live, work, and love to be in. So thank you so much for having me here today. Great museum. I love history. I've kind of always believed, and my own father, who was a history teacher, taught me about, learn your history, and it kind of brings some hometown pride and some value in your future decisions if you can look, through the past. But I'd really like to know, how did this get started? What do you do? This is a very notable landmark in the community, but, where did we kind of start from?
Well, Josh, I've been involved here with the Society since really 2019. The museum here itself was established in 1971. A local group of history lovers were able to come up with an agreement for leasing the property from the school district for $1. So this became, in 1971, the home of, actually the first home of the Armstrong County Historical Society. Construction was started in around 1842, and then a family of Thomas and Olive McConnell that we have portraits here of purchased the property and eventually had the home built and raised a family here of 5 children. But we're standing in the parlor, which is sort of a restored Victorian parlor. The family would have entertained their guests in a room like this, in which they would have had fine furniture, paintings, portraits, a means of entertainment. So a couple things I would like to highlight in this room. This is George Hetzel's painting. It's entitled Kittanning on the Allegheny River. It's dated 1878. So if you're standing down near where the Graff Bridge is now, looking north upstream, that's what the borough of Kittanning looked like then. And obviously, to the left, there was no Applewald at that time. The town was incorporated in 1895. So we're very fortunate to have one of George Hetzel's paintings here.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I've seen, a lot of different artifacts and other things here. What's kind of the, some overall, theme here, or what are some things that when people come and visit, if they're interested, that they will find here?
Well, it depends on their interest. We have people come here looking for just what's history, the industry in the past, military, have men from the county served in war conflicts in the past. Some people come just to look and see what you have here. Some come to see what kind of antiques you have. Of course, we have some portraits in our parlor here that are from, to my right are 2 portraits circa 1840s. And behind you, a portrait of well-known family in our area. This is Peter Graff I and his wife Susanna. These were donated to us by a family in Virginia. Of course, Peter Graff was born in Westmoreland County, came to Armstrong County, settled in, well, what we call western edge of Worthington. He and his wife established the Buffalo Woolen Mills.
Okay, so this is what we call the ruby sword or the jewel sword. This sword belonged to Colonel William Sirwell. He was the commander of the 78th Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry Regiment at the battles of Stones River and Chickamauga. His men raised the money to buy this sword for him. It is completely custom. You can see the rubies in it. There are 2 missing. That would be here and here. Colonel Sirwell had them removed and made into earrings for his wife whenever he got home. This is one of the rarest pieces we have. It's completely custom made. As you can see with the handle and the hilt, it is not made for combat. This is strictly ceremonial. The blade is very intricate with the engraving. It's not exactly sharp, but it wasn't supposed to be. the 78th Pennsylvania Infantry Regiment at the Battle of Stones River in Tennessee, late December, early January, 1862 to 1863, fought very valiantly. Here you can see this is the 78th Pennsylvania. They're going up against the 26th Tennessee, and the 78th ends up capturing their battle colors. For that action the following day, the commander of the Army of the Cumberland, who was General Rosecrans, issued an order that the 78th Pennsylvania was to be the first regiment into Murfreesboro, which was the closest town to the battlefield of Stones River. And during the Civil War, it was considered a great honor to have your regiment lead the Army into a taken town. And that was under Colonel William Sirwell, who was a native of Kittanning, and the men of the 78th who came from Armstrong counties and surrounding areas. It's one of our crown jewels, in my opinion, because George Washington is one of my heroes. This is what we call the Daniel Broadhead letter. This letter was handwritten by George Washington in 1779. It was written to General Daniel Broadhead, who was the commander of Fort Pitt and the Western Theater of the American Revolution at the time.
Hi, my name is Donna Weckerly, and I serve as a board member here for the Armstrong County Historical Society. And I'm here today standing beside our infamous and beautiful Bells Across PA, Echoes of Armstrong Bell, that was designed and hand-painted by local artist Kathy Strait, who owns Toll and Treasures. And as you can see, it's breathtaking. It represents not only historical elements of Armstrong County, but also many of our unique features, like our landscape, our river, our trails, and of course you'll see some famous, and Nellie Bly and some other famous parts of Armstrong County. And we all agree it's a perfect addition to the front of this beautiful museum and the grounds here at the Historical Museum. So I think it blends both history and art together in the best possible way. We're hoping that more people come to visit the museum, more people sponsor our museum and help us fundraise, and they come and celebrate Armstrong County history.
So when I'm learning about the museum and things that you do and that you're dealing with, what are some things that I can take back, to help me as I do my work in Harrisburg that would help you here?
Well, probably for me, as also being the treasurer of the society, is the PHMC's annual Cultural, Historical, and Support Grant Program. When I got involved with the program, funds were allocated to county historical societies at the level of about $4,000. And that's to help pay for our expenses. Now, as we all know, $4,000 doesn't go very far. Now, through Rusty's Baker's help, and I think reaching out to the Commonwealth societies and probably talking to legislators, the amount of money coming into societies like ours actually doubled. And also the grant process simplified. And then last year we were surprised, even though there was that budget impasse for a while, we were actually able to receive an additional $1,000. So we received $9,000 last year. That does help us out. The local Armstrong County Community Foundation, they've been able to help us out on some of these smaller things. But in that, that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 range, if there were programs to support us from the Commonwealth, that would be really good.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, and it's really important because the things you have here and the building itself, this isn't something that, something wears out and you get a new one. Like, these are the items from the past, like, that you do not get back.
Correct. These are the real things.
Right.
Yeah, we cannot replace these.
Right.
Yes.
Having been here before and seen certain events, and it seems like the community is pretty supportive. But if you could say one thing, to the people who volunteer here, who come here to show support, whether it be their time or their money, or just a general statement to our community and our county, what would it be?
That's a tough question, but I would say that come and see this gem on the hill. We have very unique things here that we've been blessed by some local people and some regional people, some people from outside of the Commonwealth who believe in what we do here, what we have on display, have added things to our collection. Come in and try to enjoy our local history and learn about our local history. The people who lived before the settlers, the people who lived here in the early part of the birth of the county, and just learn about the county.
Perfect. I think kind of hits the nail on the head. You know, come here and learn. I'm sure there's people who maybe have lived in the county even for generations, and they can come here and learn about even the generations before them, take that pride in what their county was to where it's going. And, you know, it's the 250th anniversary of the country. I think this should be a big focus on learning our heritage and our history so that as we move forward, we can take those ideals, you know, that built this country and built our community and built our counties and take them with us in the future. So I really appreciate the time and thank you very much.
You're welcome.